Gimel and Beis. Mana Shisha Chadashim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines to the bottom. Mana Shisha Chadashim Benitma. Now these are just generic Nazir's questions, the easy ones. A guy is a Nazir Olam, is taking a haircut every 12 months. He counted 6 months and he became Tomei. Okay, so he's got to start from scratch. Monot Shisha Chodashim is you only have to count another 6 months and get a haircut. Ochozim understand as a choshes, so you have to wait another full 12 months after he recommences his Nazirus. Another question. Hishlim Nazirus of Alo speak of a guy finishes Nazirus but did not yet manage to shave, to take his haircut, until 2 or 3 days passed. Venitma, during that time became Tomei. So Nebuch, what's the story? Does he have to start his Nazirus from scratch, or do I say, since it happened after his 30 days were up, so then he can say that he completed it? Rabbi Bani says, Shaila is, Mikam Shlokidish Sor B'dam. Since he didn't consecrate his hair by the blood of Karbonos, Mi Matir Galech, is he permitted to shave and cease with his Nazirus, or does he have to start from scratch again? Okay, skipping the parentheses. Next case, very interesting case. Hareini Nazir. He wants to be a Nazir, comma. Lachar, now the Ritbaz changes to Shloshim, which makes it work better. Lachar Shloshim Yom Nazir Olam Mikvar. He says, I'm a Nazir from now. After 30 days, I want to be a Nazir Olam retroactively. What's his status? So after 30 days, if he remains Star, he really has to take a haircut. But Nazir Olam can't take a haircut. No, so therefore, what's his status? I mean, for 12 months. Every 12 months he can take a haircut. So can he break the original Nazirus or not break the original Nazirus? Right? It's a conundrum, a paradox. Because on the one hand, he has a 30-day Nazirus, and the other hand is a Nazir Olam. But how do we reconcile the two? The Nazir Olam must be shaved after 30 days. Bring Korbanos, but he's not allowed to because already Nazir Olam from now.
Maybe you complete the 30 days, he shaves, and then he starts Nazir Olam from there.
Yeah, but that's the problem, because he said mikvar. Had he not said mikvar, that would be okay. But he said Nazir Olam mikvar, which is like Lamar Freya.
If you're retroactively going to be
right.
If he was just in the middle of the month and he says, I want to be a Nazir Olam,
that's right. But since he said it all in the same statement, it said mikvar, that's why the words are Shiloh. Ma'achashesh b'yod galech Nazir. Since he has capacity to shave at the end of the 30 days, does that mean that Nazirus takes effect?
Well, you could read it as la'achar esrim yom. He says Nazir Olam.
Right, yeah, but it's not.
Why do it la'achar esrim yom Nazir Olam?
No, so he changed it to 30 days. But yeah, why would you? It wouldn't after 20 days. Wouldn't make what?
It could be 20 days.
No, 20 days is an odd number for Nazirus. Yeah, but you can't do a mikvar.
Well, maybe he's saying like...
No, because real Nazirus, this Nazirus already took place. You can't do it then. He would have to do it at the point where you start both. So, since he has capacity after 30 days, is he a Nazir now? And he will shave at the end of those 30 days. Or since if he becomes Tomei, right? He doesn't have the capacity to recommence his Nazirus Eino Nazir. Now, the way the Gemara is learning it, so the Gemara says, it's not 100% clear, but it seems the Gemara is learning that at the end of 30 days, Hitaka could shave, even though he said Mikvar. The problem is, though, that let's say he becomes Tomei. Becomes Tomei in the middle, so then he can't redo his Nazirus. Why can't he redo his Nazirus? Because then the redone Nazirus will clash with his Nazir Olam kite. So the Gemara is stipulating that after 30 days he can bring his Korbanos. He can cut his hair and bring his Korbanos if he remains tar. Because he said the Nazirus of Nazir Olam will work from then mikvar retroactively, but only after 30 days. But what happens if he becomes tummy in the middle? The halachas in Nazir becomes tummy and start from scratch. He'll never be allowed to start from scratch. Because it starts from scratch even from day 2, so then that will clash with his Nazir Olam. So the Gemara is assuming that bringing the Korbanos itself at the end of 30 days not be a problem. But if you have to restart your Nazir anytime in the middle, that would be a problem. So maybe since Ilu Nitma, the Elam Echel Listar, and he can't cut his Nazirus and start from scratch, ain't no Nazir, maybe the whole thing doesn't work. It's interesting, Shalom Hilchos Nazirus. Basically, the way the Gemara learns the question is can a Nazir be a Nazir even if the only way he can retain that Nazirus is by remaining Tahor? Or, in order for a person to be a Nazir, does he have to have the capacity of being able to rectify if and when it becomes Tameh? Those are the two starting with the question, according to the Gemara. Now, the Gemara asks a different question.
The whole mikvar thing is not...
Excuse me?
The whole mikvar thing
Just a minute. The Gemara seems to hold the mikvar... No, I'll tell you why it's important. Because if he had not, the Rizbaz explains, if he had not say mikvar, then whenever the Nazirus, the original Nazirus would be over, that's when the second one would start. So then his Nazirus Tumah, the breaking and restarting, would push off the Nazir Olam. Okay? But here, since he said mikvar already is locked in place, that's why we have this query here. Okay? Now, interesting, the next query, even more interesting. Hareini Nazir, comma, and la'achar shloshim yom, here it says shloshim, right? La'achar shloshim Nazir shimshon, right? Nazir mikvar. After 3 days he wants to be a Nazir shimshon retroactively. What's the difference between a Nazir shimshon and Nazir olam? Not much, right? Nazir shimshon
can never shave.
What?
No,
No, he can't. No, Nazir shimshon can't shave. Also, he can be, but he's not. The Nazir shimshon, the Nazir shimshon. Oh, you can't even do it every 12 months. Maybe you're right. Nazir shimshon never. You're right. Nazir shimshon you can never. Right. Nazir every 12 months. Nazir shimshon never. Now, Amrei Bechina, but there's an amazing line here. Amrei Bechina mistabra shetitchen nazirus Torah l'nazir shimshon. Now, Pashtus is that Nazir Shimshon is only the Rabbanan, which is a very strange thing. Yes. But, okay, but still, Tanakh is not the Raisa. Divrei Kabbalah, but not the Raisa. But the Korban Eid, and I didn't see anybody argue, says it means it's not Mefurish in the Torah. It's Allah Lamosh Misinai. The Okatz Nazir Shimshon. So therefore he wants to say, then there's a Nazir Shimshon in Torah, that's the 30-day Nazirus. And Nazir Shimshon is only Allah Lamosh Misinai. So therefore, Mistaber Shetidach and Nazirus Torah and Nazirus Shimshon. So therefore, in this case, for sure the 30-day Nazirus is Chal. And if he gets Tameh, he's mashlim it, right, from scratch. Because the Nazirus Shimshon, it's not explicit in Torah, it's pushed off. It's a fascinating concept, okay?
So that you're not mashlim the Nazirus Shimshon then?
What?
You're not mashlim the Nazirus Shimshon in the event?
What do you mean? No. Nazirus Shimshon's starting point gets pushed off. Let's say he became Tameh on day 15, okay. Right? So now he has to keep 30 days, which come out the day 45. It actually comes out later because it's been Korbanos, whatever. But it comes out day 45. So by Nazir Olam, we said, we don't have an answer because your Nazir Olam's got to start after the 30 days. If it's of equivalent weight to the 30-day Nazirus, which you took, they're both Nazirus D'Oraisa. But by Nazir Shimshon, we say, even if it gets postponed, and even though you send me Kfar, that's okay. Because since the Nazirus which you undertook originally is Nazir Torah, and Nazir Shimshon is not Nazir Torah, so therefore it can be pushed off for those 30 days, or whatever it is. Okay, that's what we're saying. So Nazir Shimshon itself is pushed off. Eventually it'll commence, but it's pushed off in the meantime. Okay? My time, all pasuk teaches that Nazir Shimshon is only, is not Midivrei Torah. Kain Yasel Torah Nizro. This is what we do, which on the Torah is Nazirus. Ashes the Russell Torah, it has to be Nazirus Torah, Yotza Nazirus Shimshon, She'eno Torah. Which is very strange. What can I tell you? I don't see even how they've seen it in the pasuk, but that's the Chiddush. It's not considered to be at least explicit in the Torah. I wouldn't say it's the Rabbanan, even though that's what it sounds like, but it's not explicit in the Torah. Okay? Period. Nitma. Eno maybe korban tumah. Our mission said about another shimshon, when he comes tumah, he doesn't bring korban tumah. Lo ma'ela eno maybe korban tumah. It says he doesn't bring korban for it. Holokos okay, but it sounds like if he intentionally becomes tumah, then we do flog him. Now clearly, our Mishnah is there should be like the Shai Teres Yitzhak shows it told in the Lok Rabbi Yehuda. Our Mishnah is not like Rabbi Yehuda. The time Hashem Rabbi Yehuda learned the name Rabbi Yehuda. Nazir Shimshon Matam L'Mesim L'Chatchila is allowed to go be Matam L'Mesim. Shekeni Shimshon Matam L'Mesim. That was Shimshon's whole business. He used to go and be Matam L'Mesim, right? So therefore, our Mishnah, which it sounds like you just don't bring a korban, but it's also to do, that's clearly not going like Rabbi Yehuda.
Why was Shimshon Matam L'Mesim?
He killed Philistines. Yeah. Guilt, it's pashas, right? I mean, I guess you could, so what? Just a claim Ramatami. The Oraisa. Only Bo'el and Ramatami. I guess you could say that that's why he killed him with the jawbone, because he was like, jawbone's not, right, it doesn't transmit tumor, right? It's not like a sword, which transmits tumor to the bearer. But Pasha says that he became Tommy LeMason. Okay?
Actually, Cecil B. DeMille gives a different explanation why he used a jawbone. Cecil B. DeMille's
This is in the Ten Commandments?
No.
Where is
It
this?
will be
Sam's Delilah.
Right. His
Yeah.
explanation is he took a toy used by these little munchkins, used to as like entertainment.
Munchkins is a Wizard of Oz, I thought.
What am I going to say? I don't know what they were. These midgets, they used to use a jawbone of a donkey as a toy to entertain people. So he took that and he used it as a DeMille's version.
Okay, very
He
good.
took it from a med or something.
Yeah, he doesn't have it. But it's not the same reason we just gave, obviously. Anyway, Shekeli Hashim Rabbi Shimon Omer. Rabbi Shimon says, Amar Shimshon. If a person says he wants to be like Shimshon, Lo Amar Klum. It doesn't. It's meaningless. Now, this is the way the way Pnei Moshe explains it. It obviously doesn't mean if a person says like he wants to be like Shimshon, it's not valid. We just learned the Nazir Shimshon in the Torah, in the Mishnah itself. What it means is that, and the Bible says the same thing. There's halacha by neder. By neder is halacha that if you want to make something osir as neder, you have to be matbisid b'davar hanidar. You have to say, I want this object. I will understand it to be like a korban upon me, or I want the standard to be like a mincha upon me, or I understand it to be like something of that sort upon me. Whatever person said, I want the standard to be like a nazir upon me. So that works. It makes it osir, because nazir is a davar hanidar, but not Shimshon. If a person said, I want the standard to be like Shimshon upon me, it doesn't work, because Shimshon is not a davar hanidar, because Shimshon wasn't noder ben nazir, but rather HaKadosh Baruch Hu made him be a nazir. So therefore, that can't be a proper description of the state of a neder, because that's be davar hanidar, and Shimshon was not a davar hanidar. HaKadosh Baruch Hu did it to him. Okay, that's what it says. His ears did not devour upon him from his own mouth. My time, it's well, what pasuk are you referring to? Kefini zro. Maybe it's supposed to be Kefini dro. I'm not sure what pasuk we're citing here. But even pays like his nazirus, etch and nazirus al cholam mipiv. Has to be something which comes upon from your own verbalization. Yosa Zir Shimshon as opposed to Zir Shimshon. Shalo Chalam people of Elmi Pia Dibur. That came from Kosh Baruch Hu. My time, or Apostle teaches us, Zir Leukemia and Armin Abotet. He was told by his mother was told by Kosh Baruch Hu that he's going to be a Nazir for his entire life. Halacha
What about hektish and stuff like that? Like, I guess a korban also, the person...
is the davar neither.
How about, like Yerushalmi also works. A person could take Yerushalmi, that'll work.
Yeah, if we infer that that's based on Mikdash, we says Yerushalayim. And there's a Gemara in Dharma, so I think it's machlokas. The person says Yerushalayim, whether that actually is considered to be davar neither or not.
Right.
If I recall correctly. Now, the next Mishnah, by the way, who else was in Nazir Shimshon in Jewish history in the Tanakh?
Shmuel wasn't.
Shmuel. Yeah, Shmuel was in Nazir Shimshon. Okay, I mean, it's, he killed Agag, so obviously he was not, it was Tamil Mason, but Nazir
Do you
Shimshon.
get strength from this or
What?
not?
It doesn't. It's a Messiah who's in Nazir.
That Eli tells us for make sure not to shave.
Probably does say that in the beginning of Shmuel. Okay. Okay, good. Stam Nazir Shloshim Yom. Stam Nazir says 30 days. I'm reading Nazir Achas Doiv says, I want to be a Nazir once, big time. I'm reading Nazir Achas, I want to be Nazir once, small time. Person says, no, I want to be Nazir, I feel Mikam Atzofon from here until the end of the world. Nazir Shloshim Yom. All these things mean 30 days. Harein Nazir Yom Echad, a person said, I'm a Nazir one day. Harein Nazir Shah Achas, a Nazir for 1 hour. Harein Nazir Achas Amelta, but a Nazir for 1.5. Harei the Nazir Stein. This is a Nazir for 2 times. Now this is talking about, the Bavli throws in, obviously in the first couple of cases, it's Harei Nazir V'yom Echad. Right, he wants to be Nazir for a Nazir's period of 1 day. So we say that what he meant is to make 2 Naziros. Harei Nazir V'yom Echad, Harei Nazir Achas Amelta, all these things are Nazir Shroachas. Then all these things are considered to be a second Nazirus, and he's a Nazir for 60 days, or he's a Nazir twice, once 30 days, another 30 days. Hareini Nazir Shloshim Yom B'Shah Achas. Whatever, if he said, Hareini Nazir, he didn't say, he said, 30 days plus 1 hour, Nazir Shloshim V'Echad Yom. So then he's a Nazir for 31 days. Why? Because She'ein Nazirus shows. There's no such thing as hours of Nazirus. So therefore, once he takes an hour into the day, he's in the Nazir for the entire day.
So how does this differ from what you just said?
Morris going to speak about that. Bar Kapara said, how do we know that a Nazir is for 30 days? It's also in the Bavli. We learn that from Gematria. Yeh, and Gematria is plus is 30. Or Shulman Achim Hashem. Rabbi Yonasan said, Nazir. It says in Parashat Nazir 29 times, Neder, Nazir, Lohazir, those phrases. Then we're going to talk about Tlosin, aren't there 30 altogether? So Rabbi Yossi, one tells us the concept of Naziros. The other 29 are for days. That's nice, so how we get up to 30 if it's 29 times? So it says, if you shaved on the 30th day, should be yotza, not lo yotza, but rather yotza, because we talk it with the 29th means 29 whole days, and on the 30th day you can shave. So it's not 30 full days, 29 whole days, and on the 30th day you shave, right?
It's Bar Kapara lo yotza.
No, I understand. But then Ephraim says that the way to learn it is Al-Dai Bar Kapara in Gilech Yom Shloshim Yotza, and Al-Dai Rabbi Yochanan, I skipped the line, also in Gilech Yom Shloshim Yotza, but for a different reason. Because Rabbi Yochanan holds Miktas Hayom Kekulo. So Bar Kapara holds because of his drasha, it's 29, and you shave on the 30th day. Rabbi Yochanan holds it's 30 because of Miktas Hayom Kekulo.
But Bar Kapara is the 30 drasha.
No, Bar Kapara said 29 days. Did you say 29? Oh, you said you're right. Bar Kapara Taka said 30. Oh, so you're right. It's true. It's a good point. I don't know why the Ephraim Taka changes it. So it should be Al-Dai Bar Kapara in Gilech Yom Shloshim. Oh, I see. No, you're right. I just got mixed up. But Ephraim Taka says Al-Dai Bar Kapara in Gilech Yom Shloshim Yotza because it Miktas Yom Kekulo. Al-Dai Rabbi Yochanan Gilech Yom Shloshim Yotza because of the 29. That's how the Ephraim says it. That both of them hold you right, but for different reasons. One holds it's because of Miktas Yom Kekulo, that's Bar Kapara, and the other holds that it's because, and that's where he paskin. And the other one holds that it's because of the 29 as opposed to 30.
You also don't have Rabbi Yochanan before.
It's Rabbi Yonasan, Rabbi Yochanan, and they get mixed up all the time. Okay? It's the boy in the Shmina Minachos. Some people want to hear it from here.
Does that mean Bar Kapara doesn't hold the Miktas Hayom Kekulo, you just realize that?
He doesn't need it here, I guess. Well, maybe I guess so. No, he must not hold of it.
Why have to come up?
No, because he must not hold of it. Yeah, it has to be that he doesn't hold of it, at least by Naziris. He must hold Naziris as a malos, as a full amount of days. I'd like to, some people want to learn out from here. It says, Gadel Pera Se'arosho. Nazir has to grow wild the hair of his head. Kamo Gidel Se'ar Pera, how much is growing wild? Shloshim Yom. Now, this is not in the Bavli, that drasha, and the following drasha till the end, the Omer not in the Bavli either. I learn from here. She should cry for the Aish's fast Torah. Should cry for
The only thing is, you have by the concept of avail is the idea of nibble is like 30 days.
That's what it says right here. That's the case of your fast Torah, right? So just like days over there, it's 30 days. If you're Mishneh Markan, so 2 days over here, It's like Yerushalmi of 30, Shloshim. Some will learn it from here. The first days will fall, Kitame Nisro. What is the Yerushalmi here? It's a fascinating Yerushalmi. Yomim Shehusru, the days which were Husru either means that they were permitted or that they were warned. Shehisir and Moshe Beis Din either means that they were permitted by Moshe and the Beis Din or warned by Moshe and the Beis Din. The Pnei Moshe says it means days which they are permitted, and it's referring to the days in which Bnei Aaron were permitted to take haircuts. Bnei Aaron, when another Avihu died, were told, don't grow your hair wild. How many days are they told not to grow their hair wild? 30 days, which is the normal shear of growing one's hair wild. So therefore, for that Yomim, where they were told not to grow their hair wild, we deduce that the days in the Naziris when one is supposed to grow one's hair are 30 days. That's how Bnei Moshe learned it. So the days that Moshe is not there, for Elazar and Isamar to take haircuts, despite the fact that none of you are dead, corresponding to that, the flip side of that is the days in the Naziris. The way the Shari Teres Yisrael learns that he learns by days that Moshe warned them. That's for the post in the beginning of Bar Mitzvah. It says, Moshe says, not 1 day and not 2 days are going to eat the slav, but rather 30 days. So there's a shot from that Yomim to the Yomim over here. Very strange drasha regardless, but that's the way the one learns it out. They want to learn it from here. On Melos HaYomim, until the fulfillment of the days. Notice it keeps his Naziris until the fulfillment of days. What's a full amount of days? Meaning, what's a full Hebrew month? Shloshim Yom. So therefore, it's a Melos Yomim means a full complement of days. Full complement of days is 30. Wait. Me'ato. That's the case. If it's a full complement of 30, a Melos of 30, Lim Gilech Lo Shloshim Yom Lo Yatsa. So you shouldn't be allowed to shave on the 30th day because you need to have a Melos Shloshim Yom. Is this what you wanted to bring up?
No.
Okay, but I thought you did.
The effect of this disagreement is whether you have a halacha Moshe Sinai or not, as to whether the Zirus is Stam Zirus is Shloshim Yom.
Right. According to this, it's not a halacha Moshe Sinai.
According to the second view, it's not. According to the first view, it is.
Right.
So you have machlokes whether there's a halacha.
Yeah. Who said it's Stam Zirus Shloshim Yom? Very first opinion, right? No.
Yeah.
Where?
Moshe, the base deal means it's a Stam, it's a halacha Moshe Sinai. That's what Korban says. It's halacha Moshe Sinai.
Oh, but I wasn't learning that way. It doesn't fit the Korban. Yeah, Korban doesn't fit in with the pasuk very well, with the language of the Gemara.
The effect of what I'm just pointing out, the effect of this Korban shot is that it disagrees with the Rambam's notion about halacha Moshe Sinai.
Why?
Because Rambam says that halacha Moshe Sinai is an issue of which there is no machlokas. That is pshat halacha Moshe Sinai.
No, this wouldn't. No. It wouldn't contradict the Rambam because here the halacha, everybody agrees that there was 30 days. The fact that there's no machlokas halacha Moshe Sinai, even though the Rambam is difficult, but that which the Rambam is saying, that means that there's no machlokas about the data. I think there's no machlokas about the data. There could be a machlokas if it's halacha Moshe Sinai, right? But that might be, but still the halacha Moshe Sinai. No, let me rephrase it. Could be it's machlokas whether besides halacha Moshe Sinai there's a pasuk, but they could all agree that halacha Moshe Sinai is 30 days. Okay, halacha Moshe Sinai can't come concurrently with Xeris Akasim. Could be.
The Mishnah says that Gilach Yom Shloshim Yatsa.
What?
That's why they always say that. The Mishnah says in Gilach Yom Shloshim Yatsa, right?
Yeah.
So that's why on the previous daf he changed Bar Kapara
Yes.
to Yatsa, because it wouldn't work the other way.
Right. So, but that's Gemara's question here. The Gemara's question is that if you hold some loss of 30 days, then you can't shave until the 30th day is over, right? I'm ready to say, Lezer, no, don't worry. Yomim, you think it says Yomim with 2 yuds? Yomom ksiv. Chaser yud. It's missing a yud, so that's why you don't have to need a full 30 days. If you shave on the 30th day of your yahrzeit. So this is Yerushalmi, we're innovative here. Okay? Tamatzina, we learned it over there. Homer, somebody says, Hareni Nazir Mikama Makomploini, I want to be Nazir from here until so-and-so place. That he's a Nazir for in the next, it's actually that's our Mishnah, right? It says, our Mishnah says, Mikama Tzof Olam, it's just 1 Nazirus. But in another Mishnah it says that if somebody says he's a Nazir from here until so-and-so place, he's a Nazir for as the distance which is to that place. In other words, how many days it takes to get there, how many days it takes to get there, right? If it takes to get there less than 30 days, so it's a Nazir for 30 days. If it takes to get there more than 30 days, so a Nazir for the amount of days that it takes to get there. But our mission says that even if he said, Hareni Nazir Mikan Vat Sofa Olam, it's only 30 days. We don't take into account how many days it takes to get to Sofa Olam. Why not? If over there in that price, I guess it is, I think it's a brisa. This is the next Mishnah. And it's a brisa. That says that we take into account how long it takes them to get there. How come in our Mishnah we don't? So it says, and what I'll tell you. Shani, there it's different. Damar Achas. In other words, in our Mishnah it's different. Because he says, Hareni Nazir Achas Mikan Vat Sof Olam. So when we say Nazir Achas, that tells us that he wants the 30-day Naziros. That's why I say Mikan Vat Sof Olam. He's saying it's going to be as hard upon me like going to the end of the world. But it's not coming to describe the length of his Naziros. Okay? Now, Hareni Nazir Shloshim Yom V'Yom Echad Nazir Shtayim. Person says he's a Nazir for 30 days and 1 day. He makes him the double Naziros, right? To have a Yochel Meimar Shloshim Echad Yom, because it just says 31 days. So if he says 30 days and 1 day, that makes him 60 days in Nazir, 30 and 30. Maslisa Pliga Al Rav. Our Mishnah seems to argue on Rav. Because our Mishnah says, Hareni Nazir Yom Echad, a person says he's a Nazir for 1 day. Hareni Nazir Shua Achas, he's a Nazir for 1 hour. Hareni Nazir Achas U'Mech, he's a Nazir for 1.5. Harei a Nazir. He's a Nazir. Now, this is not the key to our issue. Right? The key to our issue is from the next line of the Mishnah. The next line of the Mishnah says, Hareni Nazir Shloshim Yom V'Shua Achas. Person says 30 to 30 days and 1 hour, so the Mishnah says he's only a Nazir for 31 days. But according to Rab, if he said Hareni Nazir Shloshim Yom V'Yom Echad, so too if he said Shloshim Yom V'Shua Achas, it should require him to be a double Nazir, which is really your question for him before. Okay? Why at the end of our Mishnah, where it says Hareni Nazir Yom Shloshim Yom V'Shua Achas, why is it only 31 days in Naziros? According to Rav, according to the logic of the ratio of the Mishnah for that matter, it should be a double Naziros. The one for the 30 days, and another whole Naziros for the 1 hour. Right? So that's what I'll tell you.
Well, the ratio though doesn't say, ratio just says Nazir V'Yom Echad. He doesn't say Nazir Shloshim Yom V'Yom Echad.
What?
The ratio doesn't say Shloshim Yom V'Yom Echad. Right? It just says Nazir V'Yom Echad.
Right. Same idea.
So, but where's, I guess, so the reason they're bringing the ratio here is because they're saying it should have been included in the ratio, right?
No.
Like what
No.
Rob's saying,
No. It's Yerushalmi playing one of its tricks. Yerushalmi very often means to bring a right from the Sefer, but just quotes the ratio.
Uh-huh.
So really that's a standard Yerushalmi problem. So, chronic Yerushalmi malady. So therefore, the rise against Robinson, the Sefer says, in our Mishnah, Hareni Nazir Shloshim Yom V'Shua Achas, it's only Nazir for 31 days. Says the Gemara, that's not right against Rav. It's not a kasha. Says the Gemara, what should he have said? Ma'avali l'meimar, shloshim v'achasho? What could he have said? He has to differentiate between the 30 days and the 1 hour. He couldn't say I'm going to be Nazir for 31 hours. Couldn't have said Nazir for 31 days. He had to say 30 days and 1 hour. So therefore, even Rav agrees that that's not a Yisur Lashon. Rav's premise is based, Bavli explains it some way, on the concept of Rabbi Akiva Masechta Bava Basra, which is that if a person adds a Lashonis in a star, he's coming to add more halachic advantages for himself. And so too, if a person adds language so he's coming to make an additional Nazirus. But here he's being as parsimonious as he can. He can't say anything less than 30 days and 1 hour. Because if he said anything less than that, so it would be a distortion of his meaning. So that's why we say that it's only 31 days and not 30 days plus another 30 days. Okay, that's not a right against Rav. But the following Brisa is a right against Rav. Masisa Pliya Rav says, Lo Nachlu Rabbi Akiva, Rishmon Rabbi Akiva did not disagree. So we had this at the end of the Dorim actually. Harein Nazir Shloshim Yom V'Yom Echad, the person says he's going to be Nazir 30 days and 1 day. She'enu Nazir Elachas. He's only a Nazir once. Not like Rav. Like Rav, because he could have said Shloshim Echad Yom, but he said Shloshim Yom V'Yom Echad, he's a Nazir twice. This explicitly argues on Rav. Aman Echlugu, what's the Machlokas? Alom Harein Nazir Shloshim Yom Vod Yom Echad. If a person says he wants to be Nazir 30 days and, he said V'od Yom Echad, and another day. Rabbi Shmuel Mer Nazir Shtayim, and Shmuel says he's twice over a Nazir, and the Gin Ephraim explains that Rabbi Shmuel, although I'm not sure I like the Gin Ephraim's explanation on this, but the Gin Ephraim says that the Pshat is because Rabbi Shmuel, we said at the end of Masechet in the Dorim, goes after the time when the neder takes effect. So a person said, I want to be Nazir 30 days and an additional day, so it's really giving 2 effective periods. And therefore he's a Nazir for 2 separate periods, 30 days, and the additional day is a separate period by itself. Rabbi Akiva holds, on the other hand, right, Rabbi Akiva holds we go after the time, the Amira, the statement, not after when the neder takes effect. And since in his statement he linked them both together, even though the effective dates he distinguished, so therefore, since the Amira is all one Amira, so that's why it's only 1 Nazirus and not 2. Okay? So again, Rabbi Shmuel goes by the effective dates, it's 2 separate Nazirus, because he said 30 days and then another day. But according to Rabbi Shmuel, who also go after the statement he lumped them all together, so it's only 1 Nazirus. And that really goes like Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Shmuel's Machlokas, Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Shmuel Machlokas, about Dibra Torah Koloshim Ne'odam or not Dibra Torah Koloshim Ne'odam. Rabbi Shmuel holds Dibra Torah Koloshim Ne'odam. So we don't dash in everything a person says, right? Because sometimes you're just, verbalizing, right? You're just talking, shooting off of the mouth. That's actually what I meant to say. Whereas according to Rabbi Akiva, every word a person says, just like the Torah, if a double lashon we dash it, so too a person says double lashon we dash it. So according to Rabbi Shmuel, so therefore, since we say Dibra Torah Koloshim B'nei Adam, so we don't look at his statement, right? Rather, we look at the effective dates. According to Rabbi Akiva, we look at his statement, because he always carefully examines statement. And so, according to Rabbi Shmuel, if you look at the effective dates, they're segmented. He said 30 days and then another day, so it's 2 separate Nazirs. According to Rabbi Akiva, where we dash in his Lashon, since he put them all together in one statement, then it's all 1 Nazirs. Now, this is clearly not going like Rav. Because like Rav, true, they're all in one statement, but there is a Yisur Lashon. He said something additional. So therefore, the Yisur Lashon should make him a Nazirus twice. So it's interesting, the Bavli does not bring this raya against Rav. But the Rambam paskins against Rav. Even though the Rambam paskins the Chesher Mishpat like Rabbi Akiva, that if you say additional language, means additional beneficial clauses for yourself, but here he paskins against Rav, because here clearly Rabbi Akiva himself doesn't know of Rav, right? Because Rabbi Akiva here himself says, even though you said extra languages, since you quashed it together in your statement, so we say that the statement links them together, it's only 1 Nazirus. The Yosamech explains, again, the Rama Paskins like the Yerushalmi, not like the Bali, because Bali seems to leave Rav sustained, and the Yerushalmi does not. But he says, the Yisur Lashon, when I make a Yisur Lashon, yes, of course I want to make additional beneficial clauses, but the key word is beneficial clauses. And here it's not a benefit for him to be stuck with an extra Nazirus unless he really makes it explicit. So that's why, even though we can paskin that he wants additional beneficial clause that comes to the Choshen Mishpat issues, but here the additional language should not be construed to bring upon him an additional Nazirus, and that's why he paskins against Rav. Okay?
Rabbi Shmuel says, Dibra Lashon B'nei Adam.
Yes.
So why is it 2 separate Naziris? Why isn't it 30 days and 1 day? Just adding on an extra day.
Because we don't look at his language. We don't look at his language. Dibur Torah Lashon Yom means you don't darshan language. So even if the phrases were quashed together in one statement, doesn't matter. Look at the effective dates. The effective dates were two separate ones, 30 days and then plus another date, two separate dates. Correct. The fact that he quashed them together in the same sentence, we darshan that.
But you only darshan for one 30-day Nazir's, not
131-day Nazirs.
Oh, it is 30.
It is 31 days. And like Rav, he would have darshan to the extreme and said that it's 30. Irony is that Rav comes out like Rabbi Shmuel for different reasons. Rabbi Shmuel, we don't look at his lashon, we look at his effective dates. It would be two separate Naziros. Here it says we look at his lashon, right? And therefore, in his lashon it's quashed together, so it's 31 days, not 30 and then another 30. According to Rav, we look at his lashon so meticulously that even though he made it the same sentence, but since he said it with an extra word hayoim, so it becomes two Naziros again, like Rabbi Shmuel. So it's like comes full circle. Okay. Hareini Nazir Kaser Roshi. First it says he wants to be Nazir like the hair of his head. Ukafara Aretz, and like the dirt of the land. Ukachol Yam, and like the sand of the seas. Hareiz Nazir Olam, he's a Nazir Olam. Umegalech Achas L'Shloshim Yom, he takes a haircut once every 30 days. Rabbi Omer, Ein Megalech Achas L'Shloshim Yom, he can't take a haircut every 30 days. Rather, you can only take a haircut every 12 months. Who's the one that takes haircut every 30 days? We had this last night. So it says he's accepted by himself multiple Naziros. He can shave every 30 days because that breaks up his Naziros. Somebody says, somebody says, I want to be Nazir like a full house. Molia Cooper, a full basket. Bokeh, so check him out. If he meant like a full basket, one great full basket, Nazir Shloshim Yom, so it means he's another 30 days. He just was talking about the aggravation it's going to cause him. He said, I don't know, whatever you tell me I meant is what I meant. We see the bucket as if it's full of mustard seed. The Nazir Kol Yamav, and he's Nazir for his entire life. Now, the Bavli asks questions, says, why do we look at this Nazir like it's full of mustard seed? Let's look like it's full of watermelons. And he's not a Nazir for his entire life, right? His Nazir for his entire life is full of mustard seed because it's an infinite number of Nazirios. But let's make it watermelon, so it won't be so many Nazirios. So it'll be 5, 6, but not so many, right? If it's a full basket of watermelons, how many baskets of watermelon have? How many watermelons could a basket hold? So the way the Ariyosha explains it, if he explains it nicely, he says, the Bavli, the Yerushalmi comes to answer the Bavli's question. Okay? It says here, the Rabbi Moni, that's Rabbi Moni says, Matilin oso l'chumri. We push him off to the chumra, yes, it's true. But we ask him, Karmeida says, we ask him, we cross-examine. First he take it as if it's full of a big fruit, and we say, did you mean this? We ask him. We start with the kula and we work our way towards the chumrah. We ask him, could you have meant this roigim? He says, maybe I meant this roigim. Then we ask, what about a rimonim? See, Esther is bigger than a pomegranate. So there are more rimonim in the house than a srogim. So we query him. Nuts. Pundrikin, smaller fruits. Pimpling peppers. So we actually, we taka might be able to suffice as a kula. But we have to query him, so that's why we work our way up and say, could you have meant this, could you have meant this, could you have meant this? Okay? And the more he could have meant, the more severe his status. It's interesting, the Ariyasha brings down that we have principle Safik Naziris Lahakil, which is actually why we can query him, and because otherwise it just has to be machmir upon him. It says, why Safik Naziris Lahakil? Well, it could be Tzalchim Moshe Messina. It says maybe the reason is because since he brings a carbon, so we're afraid of Chulim Bazara, right? We're afraid of bringing a carbon unwarranted to the Beis HaMikdash. So therefore we prefer to be Mako. Because here, bear in mind, this story about multiple Nazirios, not one Lord Naziros. Because the Nazir for the rest of his life is only going to bring one carbon. But here it's about every fruit would represent another phase after which we would bring another carbon. So therefore we want to be Mako, and that's why we query him. Rabbi Yossi B'Reibun B'Shem Renosa said, a nice and tikfol in Naziruso. Somebody who gives a hope for his Nazirus, Now that means he says, I want to Nazir for X amount of years, let's say 50 years, right? Or, he's not a Nazir Olam. Nazir, he says Nazir Olam. And then he can shave every 12 months, or according to Rav, 1 day or 30 days. But if he says I want to be Nazir 50 years, for those whole 50 years, he can't be Megalech. Okay? Similarly, the Tankei Lizad, Nazir Kol Yamai, if somebody says he wants to be a Nazir his entire life, Harei Nazir Olam, or a Nazir Olam, or is a Nazir Olam, he could shave every 12 months. Person says he wants which place. So only check out how many days it is, Mikamba, Miyokamplay, from here to such and such place. Pavos Mishloshim Yom, if it's less than 30 days away, Nazir Shloshim Yom is through Nazir 30 days. If it's more than that, Nazir Kamini Yom is Nazir Malkut days. Harei Nazir Kamini Mosar Shana, if somebody says he wants to be Nazir like the days of the year, more Nazir is Kamini Mosar Shana. He counts Nazirios, I'm sorry, like the amount of the days of the year, which means 365 times 30 days. Rabbi says, Maisoyo, such a guy, he kept 365 30-day Nazirios, so it was like 20 years or something like that, and at the end of that, came usually once he finished it, mace. He dropped dead. Not only will. Manakim, what are you talking about? If it said like the amount of a solar year, it's 365. Like the days of a lunar year, the days of solar year. It's 354. Like the days of lunar year. But if it's like he says just Yemos Shana, Tzricha, we don't know what he means. Yeah. Does it mean solar or lunar? If he says Yemos Shana, that could be also leap year, non-leap year with Sataka Tzorkin. Kaim Shem Rabbi said a very, very powerful Muslim. He says, Loya Azelamisa should have died right away, long before he got the end of the 365 times 30. El Shatolim Zirus, he was kept alive in the schus of his Nazirus. He should have been Nazir longer. He would have stayed alive longer. Okay? Says a lot further, Masdisa the Rabbi Yehuda. Our mission is like Rabbi Yehuda. The Chassidim Rishonim, the ancient Chassidim, they wanted to be in Korban Chatos, because Baruch wouldn't allow them to sin. They wouldn't sin, so they couldn't make Chatos. For but Nazir, they used to make themselves be naked, netted to be a Nazir, Bishvilo Avi Korban Chatos, nor they should be in Korban Chatos. Rabbi Shimon Ayu, the Sats Rabbi says it's good to become a Nazir. Rabbi Shimon Choitim Ayu, it's bad to become a Nazir. Shneimar says, "V'chiper lo me'asher chotal nefesh." Everybody knows the drasha being bad to be a Nazir. People don't know the drasha that it's good to be a Nazir. But that's how the Rambam paskins. It's good to be a Nazir. Anyway, Nazir is bad. Shneimar chilo me'asher chotal nefesh. Chotazel atzmo. He's chote shemon atzmo yain. He refrains from wine. V'aser Shimon Tzadik, Rabbi Shimon Tzadik. In the following Maisa, very famous Maisa we had in the Dorm ready, goes like Rabbi Shimon. The time we learned Amar Rabbi Shimon, Amar Shimon Tzai, Shimon Tzai, B'Tzai, Miyomai Lochati Osham Nazir. I never ate the Osham of a Nazir. Now, only a Nazir Tameh brings an Osham. Okay, so he never ate and therefore, we spoke about this in the Dorm, that the staff could tell you about a Nazir became Tameh. Because the Nazir became Tar, so his Karbanos are legitimate. But Nazir becomes Tameh, there's something missing in his garden because he's upset. Because he's got to start from scratch and he has to bring Karbanos now on a futile Nazirus. So Shimon HaTzadik held that a Nazir Tameh, his Karbanos are almost like Chulim Ba'azara. Because he's so upset that he didn't make his Nazirus. So he never ate from an Osham Nazir Tameh, El Pa'am Achad, one time. Echor Elai min Durham, somebody came from the south. V'yisun Yisrael, the Musifei Naim, he had beautiful eyes. The Tovrim was handsome, Kutzosov Taltalim, and his hair was cascading down in beautiful locks. Michael said, why did you come Nazir in the first place? To destroy this beautiful hair. So normally he said back to me, Rebbe Roy used to be here as a shepherd of my city. V'alachti malos to show mine, and went to draw water from the well. For he says, Habuvi oshli b'soch hamayim, and I saw my reflection in the water. Upachaz yitrio lai, and my Yitzhar overcame me. Ubikesh adayim yilom, wanted to eradicate me from the world, wanted to get me to go sin because I am a handsome guy. Amarti lo, I said to my Yitzhar, Moshe, Mata mefachiz badavar shein shechol. Why are you diligent or hasty? It's a matter which is not yours. Olayak tishchol l'shamayim. I will sanctify you to the heavens. V'chibaktiv, and I embraced him. The shaktiv Roshon kissed him on the head. V'amarti lo, I said to him, B'ni, my son, k'moischa, like you, yirbu osei rotzon ha'mokom b'Yisrael. There should be many people who do the will of God in Am Yisrael. Alecho ha'kosavaymer, like you, upon you, the pasuk says, Isha, man or woman, ki yafli. They'll do a wondrous thing, lean door not neder lahazir laHashem. So for you, it's taka good to become a Nazir. Because even if you became a Nazir Tommy, like you did, you're not going to be upset about it. Ask Ramana boy, lomali k'shimon hatzadik. Why does Shimon hatzadik say, you don't want to eat from a carbon Nazir? Afilu Rabbi Shimon. Even like if you're going like Rabbi Shimon, it's a little bit, the lush is a little bit difficult. It means if you're going like Rabbi Shimon, who says that the guy is upset, because he's mezer atzma min hayayin, right? And therefore, so lo'achal Shimon hatzadik chatas chel miyamav. Maybe Shimon hatzadik never ate chatas chel miyamav because the guy who brought it was a sinner, right? Lo'achal Shimon hatzadik chatas dam miyamav. Maybe Shimon hatzadik should never eat blood in his life, like because the guy was just chatas brought by somebody who ate blood in his life because the guy was a sinner. So the Gemara is asking if Rabbi Shimon is correct that Nazirim are looked down upon because they're sinners, so everybody brings the chatas as a sinner. So Shimon HaTzadik should never eat any korbanos, right? So this is different. So Sava Shimon, Be'odam, Shimon holds people mitoch hakpadosin heinojim, when they become Nazirim outside of anger. It's like a wrathful thing. Mikev anshe nojim toch hakpadon, and they take an air of anger, especially if they become tamei sofolitos. Eventually, it's going to be a regret having become a Nazir. Became a true Torah once he regrets it. However, this guy, he was a tzaddik. He did it deliberately. Pivli Yerushalmi is really sincere what he did, so that's why he ate the guy's korban. Okay, so a regular guy brings a korban. It's not a chulin bazar. He did the impetus for him. He ate chaylev, he ate dam. It's only a Nazir who were afraid, especially becomes Tameh, that now it's like a Pesach on his original Nazirus. He regrets it. So that's why his korban is like Chulin Bazara. But this guy who did it L'Shem Shamayim complete, it's not like as a Pesach or any Charota, he would, therefore Shimon HaTzadik ate of his korban. Okay? Let's just go further so we can say we did 2 blot today. Harein Nazir me'ar grogros minan devela. Somebody says he wants to be Nazir from grogros and from dvela. Now grogros are figs, and dvela are dates. So you can't be Nazir from grogros and dvela. B'shamim Nazir. B'shamim says Nazir, b'somrim eno Nazir. Now, according to the Bavli, the machlokas here is machlokas Meir and Rabbi Yossi. Meir says Adam is whatever a person says first, comes out of his mouth first, catches him. And Meir says, Rabbi Yossi says, the end of the statement also is critical. So if you go after the beginning of the statement, like Beishamai, like Rabbi Meir, so it's Nazir. If you go like the entire statement, like Beis Hillel, like Rabbi Yossi, so he's not a Nazir. Sham is going to have different shotim. Rabbi Yehuda, what?
What about being a Nazir and this is a nether against...
Everything is possible. Don't worry. We'll come to it. Now this is totally not relevant to our discussion beginning of the Mishnah. According to the like Korban explains here, it's talking about when if a person says wants to make a neder and make something a korban, and he says instead, I want to make it a Nazir. Says, I want to make this thing a Nazir. Does that make it a korban or not? Right? So Beis Shammai says that Beis Shammai says that actually Lomer Ba'omer Alei Korban doesn't work. He has to actually say the word Korban, and the word Nazir doesn't substitute. And the Gemara is going to talk about it in some way. Okay, so it says Ma'am Rabbi Yochanan. Tam Beishamai. What's the reason Beishamai? Mitoch Shotzi Nazir's Mipif. Since he said the word Nazir, that's enough. Beishlakish Amayim Mishum Kinui Kinuyim. No, even though he didn't say it's because of Kinui Kinuyim. What's Kinui Kinuyim? An appellation for an appellation of zero. So this is Gavaldik. This is the exact opposite of what we have. Amr Rabbi and Pazi. The exact opposite of the first parak. In the first parak, Rabbi Yochanan said by Tziporim, that's Kinui Kinuyim because it's like long nails, like birds, So that's like Tziporim is a euphemism for what it's going to look like afterwards. And Reish Lakish said, Reish Lakish is the one who said, no, Tziporim refers to Tzipori Nazir. Here it's the exact opposite. Here Reish Lakish says that it refers to some wild description of what it means to be a Nazir. Whereas Rabbi Yochanan says that he said the word Nazir, so it's a technical thing. So Am Rabbi and Pazi, where do we find a pasuk which will like Rishim Lakish that this could be Kinuyim? Gavaldik pasuk. Kamar Hashem. This is Hakadosh Baruch Hu says, Kashem tzah tirosh be'eshkol v'gomer. Like you find tirosh in the eshkol. So you find tirosh is grape juice in the eshkol in the cluster of a gomer. Now Torah calls the eshkol tirosh. The Torah calls a cluster of grapes tirosh. Ubnei Adam calling the grogros tirosh. People call a grogros tirosh. In other words, tirosh can also mean, in language that people use, anything sweet, not just grape juice. Also refers to dates. So therefore, he said, "I'm a nazir from dates." What he meant is grape juice, because in his mind he made this association. Dates are called tirosh, grape juice is called tirosh, so he meant to say free association, that's kinui, right? Ma'anafi b'neim. What's the difference between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish? So Gavaldik and Afkamino. I'm going to like the Gilin Ephraim. Amar Reini Nazir, skip mina grogros. Okay, take that out. Amar Reini Nazir mina dvela. Now, Daita Rabbi Yochanan, he's still a Nazir, right? Because he mentioned Nazirus, right? Al Daita Reish Lakish, ain't no Nazir. He's not a Nazir. Why is he not a Nazir? Because he didn't say the free association word. He just said dvela, not grogros. And in Lashon B'nei Adam, grogros, figs are called tirosh, but not dvela, not dates.
Yeah, when it says in the Mishnah, Hareini Nazir mina grogros and mina dvela, so now we're saying that means from both of them?
Yeah. Specifically grogros.
Mishnah means mina grogros or mina dvela.
No. He has to, that's what the Mishnah says. According to the Gilin Ephraim, that's exactly what we're saying. The word grogros then becomes critical. The vela is superfluous. And that's why Reish Lakish, if he just said dvela, Hareini Nazir mina dvela, taka wouldn't work. According to Rabbi Yochanan, still be Nazir because he said the word Nazir. Okay, now we're going to say, now it says one more line. Hareini Nazir min hakikor. If he said, I'm Nazir from bread, I'll die to Rabbi Yochanan, he's a Nazir because he said the word Nazirus. I'll die to Rabbi Shimon, according to Rabbi Shimon, if he said, so it should be instead of Ein, it should be Hareini. Hareini Nazir min hakikor, lo amar klum. Obviously, because that's not even kinuyim. People don't associate bread with wine in any free association. Figs they do, but not bread.